What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp.
Sparky.
Back again like you never left. And today, this is two rednecks talking about an overpriced firearm.
Yeah, I watched Battlestar Galactica one time. I might have seen it.
Did it look like this?
It's very close.
Very close. I think of Halo when I look at this.
Okay.
So this is the AUG M2. This is relatively a newer version of the AUG. I don't really know if there's that much difference between it and the old AUG, if we're going to be completely honest. But today we're going to be talking about it and whether or not we think it's worth you to even purchase or pick up. This is not going to be just an absolute roast to the AUG that normal AUG reviews are. It is still pretty cool, but this is the all new M2. So this was picked up from 801 Weapon Works. Big shout out to him. The AUG is relatively expensive depending on where you're getting it from, who you're getting it from. They can range anywhere between you know, like the $1,200 to $2,000, depending on if you're getting one with the longer barrel, the shorter barrel, the heavy barrel. There's a whole bunch of different factors into it. We were able to get ours for like 1,600 bucks, I think, give or take. There's a lot of different colorway options in the AUG. There's the classic green
OD.
Yeah, the FDE, and then we got the black version. So before we talk about this Austrian rifle right now, let's give a big thank you to the biggest supporters of the channel, the Basement Operator community. If you want to check it out, basementoperator.com. There you can find merch, bam, builds, links, all kinds of awesome stuff over at basementoperator.com. So big thank you to that. Next things next is the people that keep the channel actually running other than ourselves. Biggest one, TrueShot. TrueShot, it keeps the freedom seeds flowing here on the channel. There at TrueShot, you can find everything from 5.56, 9mm, 12 gauge, 45 ace, every type of training ammo. That's why we love them. They always have training ammo in stock, and it's super easy. They have all kinds of stock there. I mean, large quantities, small quantities, whatever you need. TrueShot's got you covered. So go check out TrueShot there. You can find them, or at basementoperator.com/links. They'll be there. Sparky. Yeah. It's finally time to talk about whether or not it's worth somebody to buy an AUG M2. So this is the all new AUG M2, as we've previously mentioned. Sparky, you want to talk about specs first, or do you want to talk about loadout first? Probably best to talk about specs first.
I thought you were asking me. No, you're telling me. Well, I guess we'll do specs first.
All right, we'll do specs first, and then we'll talk about how we have this thing set up and what we would change about it, because there's something I would change about it. So this is the Steyr Aug M2. The AUG is kind of a staple in terms of bullpup. If you talk about a bullpup, most people think of an AUG. And AUG has really been, I mean, they've had changes over the years, but for the most part, it's been the same firearm for a long time. Here in the last few months, they've actually released the new AUG M2 into the US market, and we decided to pick one of these up. Steyr does not know who we are. They do not care who we are. They probably won't even see this video. But we have one of their firearms here, and we've had it out for quite some time now. We've shot it a lot in its original configuration and now in our modified configuration, and we've got some thoughts on it. So let's kick us off with going from tip to butt on this thing, Sparky, and talking a little bit about how this thing is featured out, okay? This Steyr AUG is a traditional bullpup system, which means it takes rounds in the rear, and that is how it functions, right, Sparky?
It was a good thing you got that bore product.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got the bore products, the lube. Here at the front, we have a Dead Air K mounted. This is not how it originally came. It came with a standard, it wasn't an A2, it was
birdcage
looking thing. It mounted really simple. There was no grip. This is a claw rail that I installed. I picked it up aftermarket. Originally, it came with the OG handguard, or
flipped up and up.
Yeah, the grip there on the front, and it looked very much like a traditional AUG. 16-inch barrel, which is part of what makes bullpups favorable, is the fact that it is such a small package, still has a rifle length barrel, and it's not an SBR despite how small of a package it is. It recesses the barrel
all the way back.
All the way back, which, you know, there's some pros and cons to it. That's kind of the draw to it. But it does have a 16-inch barrel. It is cold hammer forged, 1 in 9 twist. The gas system is located here on the side. It does come with an adjustable gas block, which is nice. There's two settings. There's one for normal use and one for heavy duty use, like if it's dirty or if it's cold outside, or if it needs to push gas hard, you know, to really cycle it.
Yeah.
There's an additional feature for that. So the M2's real selling point is the semi-extended rail system. This is supposed to be because people are looking to mount more stuff to their AUGs. They don't really like the grip, and that's it. People want to run PEX, people want to run lights. So the idea with the AUG M2 was to make it more accessible for aftermarket rail systems like the claw grip here, which you buy from AUG, and the extended rail section here on the front. Now this is not completely new to the AUG, it's just more new to the AUG in the United States.
Yes.
The AUG is foreign made, and there's more versions out there, just not accessible to us here in the United States. Moving further down the AUG, after we get past the 16-inch barrel and the adjustable gas system, we come to how you charge and manipulate the firearm, which is this right here, right? So it is quite a bear to pull.
A little stiff.
It is a little stiff. You really got to get behind it.
Gotta eat your Wheaties.
Yeah, you got to eat your Wheaties. It's not like a charging handle on an AR-15, which after you get a lot of practice with, you can manipulate it quick. I've really had to get used to this. So that's one thing, but what I do like about it is it does fold up out of the way. So after you charge it one good time, you know, you can click it up and you don't have to worry about it catching on something.
Which is nice.
But is it the end all be all save the platform? No,
but
not necessarily.
It's better than it being fixed like that.
Stuck out like that, exactly. So, I mean, that's just a nice courtesy feature. I'm pretty sure the AUG M1 had that as well, though. So it's not like it's a new feature by any means. Well, I was about to put that in there. Moving further back, you start to get into the fire control group, which is what people hate about bullpups. Yeah, exactly. So the trigger pull sucks on the AUG. It's just a fact of life, really. You know, like death, taxes.
Taxes.
AUGs will have bad triggers. And the reason that is because there's a lot to the trigger group. So the trigger starts right here, but it ends up firing back here. So if you pull this trigger package out, it is really long.
And that kind of goes back to the whole thing you said, the charging handle, with it being harder to pull back, it's the same thing. It's moving, everything's moving all the way back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same principle for the trigger. The reason why people don't like trigger, same reason why I don't like charging handle. Because it's operating something all the way back here.
There's just a lot to it, and there's a lot of moving parts. Now, does it make up for allowing for such a compact package?
Maybe.
I don't know. But the trigger does it. There's a lot to be left on the table for the trigger. I don't know if it's a fixable thing. I have not shot a lot of bullpups. Admittedly, this is the first one I've ever owned. So take that for what you will in terms of us reviewing them.
Our experience.
This might be the best bullpup on the market.
We just don't know it.
We just don't know it. Overall, I don't think it's that great of a trigger, and I don't really necessarily enjoy, you know, I don't think it's very crisp.
No.
Nope. One of the things that is good though about the AUG and the stock group and everything, it's easily like configured.
Yeah.
So they easily come apart. But essentially, if you want to do a swap on this, you can do a barrel swap and upper receiver swap by just knocking out these pins and dropping a whole new one in, and you get a whole new upper receiver group. So where AUG has recently come out with a 300 blackout, if you wanted to use this for hunting here, like in Virginia where you can't hunt with a 5.56 223, you can do a barrel swap or an upper receiver swap, and you're good to go with a hunting safe caliber.
You want something a little more quiet.
Yeah, if you want something a little bit more quiet, you want to maybe run some subs or something. Not really sure how an AUG would run with subs.
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, there's only one way to find out. I know a lot of AR-15s have a lot of issues with running subs if they're not properly gassed correctly. So maybe you'd have to really open up the gas system on it and run it suppressed. Moving further back, you have your mag. So your mag goes here in the back, like so. Mag release right there, pops right on out. Kind of self-explanatory.
Yep.
Nothing too crazy. Mag goes right there. When you shoot it, bullets come out right there. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
So if you're left-handed,
you're screwed. It's going right into your face. You can't shoot it left-handed. Oh gosh.
could you imagine?
Oh, that would be just.
You want to do it one time?
No, I don't.
$20.
No, not worth an ER trip. I don't think I would shoot this AUG if you were left-handed. But overall, that's pretty much the whole AUG in its package. This thing, like I said, MSRP is $1,600, give or take, and it's definitely a very niche item.
Yeah, for me, I would say it's probably one of them ones to round out the collection. You know, if you're just a gun guy, you like different types of guns, sure, I could see somebody picking one of these up just to round out the collection.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you're going to get a whole lot of looks when you bring this thing out to the range and stuff.
It's nifty.
It's that cool factor of being a bullpup.
It's nifty, and you know, if you're wanting to go with a smaller package, I would almost rather just, you know, go AR pistol, SBR, whatever it is. I think you would be better off. Now, do you maintain velocity with this? Yes.
Sure.
Are you doing a lot of long range shooting with this? Probably not. You know,
no, not that trigger.
No,
but I don't know. I do. It's well balanced. It's easy to acquire targets. It is fun to shoot. I did enjoy shooting.
Yeah, you got to give credit where credit is due. It is fun to shoot.
It's so well balanced, though.
One of the critiques I have with it, and I think it's an inevitability just with how the platform's set up and how compact it is the gas system's located right there at where you put your hand. So
it gets hot. Quick.
Yeah, it gets very hot, very quick. You have two options really. You have to wear some very beefy gloves, or you have to really use the grip. You know, one of the reasons people really wanted the AUG to be upgraded was for people that really like the platform, is so they could get a more traditional grip on it like they do with their AR-15s, to where you could swap out the rail and you could get like some sort of C grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know,
it's a little too hot.
A little too hot with that gas system being right there where that black plate is. It gets hot quick. You could go maybe 2-3 rounds, and then you start to notice, and then when you're on your fourth mag, it's starting to get unbearable. So, you know, our initial setup on this is we have a little chode grip here on the front. I definitely think it needs to be swapped out to a broomstick. As much as I hate going something that big, I think it's almost a necessity when it comes to running this platform. So let's kind of talk about how we do have it set up. We have the Dead Air K here. We have a HRT tactical light. We have the chode grip, which somebody gave us a good definition in one of the last videos about chode grips.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you need to make sure you go back and read it. We have a knockoff PEC because we're poor. And then we have an EOTech here because we're not poor. Funny combination we got going on.
Yep, lipstick on a pig.
Lipstick on a pig. But other than that, that's kind of how we have this thing set up. Now, we did bash it pretty hard. There are some redeeming things. It does function really well. It is reliable. You know, it sends the rounds out. Oh, yeah. We didn't have any feeding issues. And you know, with that cold hammer forged barrel, it's a really nice feature to have on a rifle. And you know, for $1,600, you probably expect it to have a nice barrel in it. I think that the AUG is a fairly decent bullpup. I forgot about the Tavor.
Yeah, I like the Tavor better.
Yeah, it works, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. If I was a guy looking for a good fighting rifle, I don't think I would recommend somebody to get an AUG. I do think the AUG probably does have its place somewhere, but it's not with the tactical prepper, you know, prepared individual.
Not here anyway.
Not here anyway, exactly. But I do think it might serve a purpose somewhere else.
I would agree. I like the bull pumps is kind of new for me as well. Fixed I've shot the Devore, I liked it, but this one, I mean, the idea of a bull pump is interesting, and it actually does have its place. I will say this is, for the money, very good quality. It shoots great. Yeah. And it's well balanced. That was my biggest thing, is I thought it was going to be, like, it looks funny. So, like, shooting it, it was well balanced. Well, it surprised me.
A lot of the weight is up here.
But all your inner workings are really...
Yeah, so, like, this is made out of plastic back here. This is made out of metal. So, it kind of counterbalances, and you're right, it is a well-balanced firearm. So that is something to be said for it. There's just a lot of trade-offs in it. Bad trigger group, well-balanced gun. There you go, I don't know. That's our kind of shtick on the AUG M2. In terms of the upgrades from the M2 to the M1. Marginal at best. The ability for the extended rail and the easier access to the M-LOK handguard, you know.
It is an improvement.
It is an improvement, but it's an improvement that probably should have been here a lot sooner. So I think we're going to wrap it here. Very interesting to have on the channel. Maybe it'll be worth to get a Tavor out and do a comparison, because people do like the idea of bullpups.
Yep.
They like the idea of the compact size and the rifle. So maybe it's something that we just need to spend some more time with and get a little bit more time behind and get some other samples out to really
flesh out the
experience. Yeah. We really appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to follow Sparky on OnlyFans, and we'll see you guys on the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.
I'm trying to buy dog food. Single dog dad.
Single dog.